is how tragedy brings us all together. And even though we see ourselves as different amongst us humanly, with our minds, we might see others with differences. But what I saw on that day, we all got together. There was no distinguish about who we are, what we believe, what we had our differences. What we saw is what brought us together. And that tragedy was something that I saw the whole city truly working together, helping each other. And that's something, a testimony of where we can be as human beings. Because oftentimes we find things that pull us apart. We find things amongst us that we fight with each other, we gripe, and we find reason to hate. And that is what got us to the point of having that day. Because somebody hated, in this particular case, Americans, what we stand for, who we are. But every day of our life, unfortunately, we have people that possibly may hate us, may look down upon us. What we have to remember that we are all God's children. And we don't need a tragedy to come together. We don't need a tragedy to gather, to love each other, because that's what we are called to do as human beings under God's protection. So, myself also witnessing that, I saw how people were able to come together in this day of difficulty. It was chaos. People were running all over the place, trying to hide, not knowing what would come next, because we saw the Twin Towers coming down. Nobody knew what else was going to happen. It could have been something other hit somewhere else. So it was chaos. So everybody gathered, walked together, helped, assisted, gave water, gave food, gave shelter, all these things. Let us remember that in our life, that we need each other in life. And instead of seeing what makes us different, let us gather and always pray together, love each other, and try to see beyond our differences. And those differences are most likely our weaknesses. Don't allow them to govern who we are. We have a responsibility to love each other, to care.